An Oklahoma lawsuit may kill Obamacare. That's what I'd like to talk about today. There is a lawsuit that was filed by the state of Oklahoma by Scott Pruitt, its Attorney General. And it is a blessed lawsuit. It's a wonderful lawsuit. And it may well be upheld, and it may well kill Obamacare. In the Obamacare legislation, it says clearly that the only way that the government can pay subsidies to anyone for their insurance is if they get that insurance through state-established exchanges. A completely separate section of the law says that if the states don't establish exchanges where you can buy health insurance, the feds can come in and establish them in each of those states. But in that section of the law, it makes no mention of subsidy or anything like that. The subsidy is all in the state exchanges. The language of the statute is very explicit. Section 1401 of the Obamacare statute, the Affordable Care Act, says that taxpayers may receive a tax credit only, quote, if the taxpayer is covered by a qualified health plan that was enrolled through an exchange established by the state under Section 1311 of this act. Only through state exchanges. The IRS is just blowing through that and issued an interpretation saying the law doesn't really only mean state exchanges, it means state or federal exchanges. But the law doesn't say that. And in fact, the legislative history of the law suggests that tying it to state exchanges was very deliberate. Ben Nelson of Nebraska, may he rest in peace, was the swing vote in the Senate at that time. And Nelson said that he was afraid that this Obamacare would open the door to a federal single-payer system. And he said, I want there to be some incentive for states to set up these exchanges. So let's condition the subsidies only for state exchanges so the states will have a reason to set up these exchanges themselves and not just have an entirely federal system. And that's why this was built into the legislation and was never fixed as it was being passed. Now, in the event when it happened, 34 states have refused to set up exchanges, and the federal government set them up in those states. Basically, the only states that did set up their exchanges are the heavily Democratic states like New York and Massachusetts and Illinois and California. Most of the states don't have them. So, if the Oklahoma lawsuit is upheld, it will be illegal to subsidize taxpayer purchases of health care or people buying health care on the state exchanges. Now that'll mean that they'll have to pay a huge portion of their income, 15, 20, 25% of their income, without the subsidy to offset it. That would, according to the definition of the statute itself, be unaffordable. And if the thing is unaffordable, you can't make someone buy it by the terms of the statute. So vitiating those subsidies would also wipe out the individual mandate and basically destroy the law. This case is now pending in the district court in Oklahoma. It has survived a motion to dismiss. It has survived a question as to whether the state has standing to bring the suit. And the state is moving for summary judgment and hopes for it by the end of the year. The Attorney General, Scott Pruitt, predicts that the Supreme Court will have the case by the fall term of 2014. So keep your eye peeled. This is not a constitutional challenge to be confused with the one where Roberts ruled against us. It has nothing to do with the Constitution. This is a statutory challenge based on the language of this horribly drafted statute. Thanks a lot for watching.